Hey, this is Stacia, and I played a training game. Um, Actually, it was on lichess.org, not chess.com, so sorry about that. But I thought it was an interesting game. I want to look at it. Um, let me pull up the analysis board. My opponent was rated 2053 on lichess, and I played the white pieces rated 1967. I think the lichess ratings are clearly inflated. Um, I can pretty much break 2000 on lichess without that much effort, but I can't, it's tough for me to break 1800 on chess.com. So I think it's at least a 200 point difference there. But anyway, this game is only 22 moves long. So let's have a look. So it was a Carol Khan, and I played the Panov Attack, which is my main opening against this. And I recommend this actually because Carol Khan players, I mean, maybe as you get higher rated, it's not so true, but a lot of Carol Khan players prefer closed positions, and the Panov Attack has more of an open feel to it. Notice how we trade stuff and then just like play c4 right away. I mean, we are also inviting like an isolated queen pawn position because black could take here right away if they want to. And we've got this isolated queen pawn, but in compensation for our weak pawn, we get nice outposts for our pieces on c5 and e5, and we get nice open files for our rooks on the C and E files, and the knights can come to the best squares as well. So like, it's just it's well worth having the weakness. So anyway, that is not how my opponent played, and we'll just go through some moves here. Don't want to focus on the opening too much. This is all theory. Okay, and we reached this moment. Now I've seen this move a few times, but I haven't really studied it yet. I know it to be a real move though. So I think mainline, the theory goes takes to wreck the pawn structure. And then they play, yeah, I believe e6 is the move. Okay, because black is behind on in development on the king side. They've really got to develop because, especially now that they've traded their light square bishop, this diagonal is quite weak. So, let's see. In this position, yeah, we're going to take that pawn. I mean, it's kind of the point of playing queen b3. That does attack the knight. And generally here, they will go ahead and take the pawn. And this looks really threatening the first time you see it because it's like, oh, wow, they're going to check. They're going to fork. You know, they're going to come in like this. Yeah, all of that is true, but we can play this move, bishop b5 check, which helps our development. And they pretty much have to take, right? Because otherwise they're going to lose a queen. So they take. And then we can play not this. Okay, because after this move, I think they just go, let's see. Maybe just queen d7. I don't see why not play that. And then black's position seems reasonable to me. If I ask the engine, it's probably going to say equal-ish. Yeah, it does say equal. Okay, cool. So the idea is that we're going to throw in this little check on c6 to misplace the king. Now they have to go king e7. Okay, and this is objectively fine, I think. But more difficult to play for black, for sure, right? Like now we can take here, and now they can go queen d7. And then we could even play this move now. We could take. There's different ways to play. And I know Bobby Fischer had a game in this line that I analyzed on my channel. You could probably find it. It's also in Bobby Fischer's 60 Most memorable games. I'm looking for it in the lichess database. I'm not sure I see it though. Where is it? I wish that was in here. I would like to look at it. Okay, but anyway, without going, I think I'll review that after the video. In my game, they did not play take and e6. They instead went for this move, knight b6. Yeah, and I don't know the theory here, so I was now on my own. And so I started thinking, well, I think the right thing to do when you see the first new move is to ask yourself some questions about it, like what's going on? Why play that move? What does it do? Okay, well, one thing it does is it retreats that knight out of the center and opens up an attack on the pawn. Another thing, though, is that since they did not cripple our pawn structure right away, so I could choose to move the knight. But if I move that knight, I feel like they're definitely going to take, right? That's definitely happening. Another idea, I think, let's see, could be to reroute the knight to d7 in the event that after like e6 and this bishop's not able to return back, the knight could potentially block any dangerous checks. Because notice that the bishop and the queen can coordinate on that diagonal. So, okay. But this move also kind of allows d5, right? The knight was blockading that. And now d5 is possible. So I was very, I was very mindful of that. And also in general, if you're playing an isolated queen pawn position, which is what we have now, you're usually trying to push your pawn. The idea is that when you have a weak pawn, you want to push it because then you can trade it off, and then guess what? You don't have a weak pawn anymore. But you might have better development and well-placed pieces, so you'll just have a better position. So, okay, those are all my thoughts on this. Now, if I look at the master's database, it does give d5 as the main move. It also gives bishop e3, which I didn't really consider, just protecting the pawn, which does make some sense. I was also kind of looking at this. I mean, it does have a cheap shot, but I thought, you know, why can't they just protect it? And then I'm not sure what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm not even sure what's going on entirely because there's this and they're attacking the queen. So clearly we would take here. Is this enough? They go here. Is this enough? I mean, probably is. This is actually guarded by this knight, which is annoying, but yeah, I don't know. I'll ask the computer. Oh yeah, white's completely winning. It does feel like white should be able to win. I'm not exactly sure how to do it though. I mean, it's giving bishop d3. That's not a move that I would have played, but I guess we're gonna go here, possibly, or we just want to castle as quickly as possible. Oh, now it's giving h3. Okay, h3, trying to get the bishop off this diagonal, I think. And then I don't know how we're going to deal with the knight. All right, let's just follow the engine line for a second. Okay, we allow the fork. Wow. And we go king d2. Okay, that allows this king to move with check. They could also take the rook. Oh, yeah, well, if they take with check, I guess we take the knight. So they pretty much got to do this, right? And then after this, we play that bishop d3 move. Wow, so that was part of the idea behind this, is to allow the fork and to put our king on d2 and block with the bishop. Okay, interesting. Some new ideas there. I'd have to really analyze that, I think. But in that game, I just went d5. I felt this was principled, and it is. And okay, now they take here, which I also thought was principled. Now, if I take here, I allowed them to save the bishop. So I didn't want to do that. So I took, and then knight d4. Yeah, and here I was considering some different things. I mean, I feel like bishop b5 check should just be played because it develops the bishop, it's protected, and they pretty much, well, they don't have to. They could use their knight to capture it, and then I think we're pretty happy if that happens. Like, if this, and, do I want to take with a queen or a knight? It's a good question, actually. I kind of want to take with a knight, because I might try to do this. It's kind of annoying. So I guess here they generally go a6 to kick the knight back out. We just go knight c3. Okay, but the black position, you know, they're behind in development. It looks kind of awkward to play. This pawn's quite strong. But in, you know, they have compensation because our pawns are all messed up too. And our king's not necessarily safe. So I'm going to say it's equalish. Okay, computer disagrees. It says just +1 for white. Okay, hard for me to understand exactly why that is without concrete lines, but okay. All right, in the game though, yeah, my opponent blocked with knight d7. The problem with this move, I think, is that it just further cramps the black position and makes it awkward. So, you know, like that knight is going to stay pinned now, and I'm not that afraid of this. I can always play queen d1, right? Threatening a check and a fork. So I played queen d1. Hopefully that's the right move. Okay, actually queen a4 is stronger. So let's look at that. I considered this. I thought they would take. I thought I would go king f1. Oh, it's the computer. Yeah, it likes what I'm doing. Okay, and then here I wasn't sure how I proceed. I would probably just develop or something. It's black's turn. Black could go a6 and kick the bishop. They could go g6 to develop and try to get the bishop that way. They could also play e5. Computer gives a6, so let's go ahead and go with this. We just come back and attack the knight, and then they can go b5. We go queen e4, attack that knight again. Knight's almost trapped, but they can go here. It's protected. Yeah, but look at our development here. Yeah, bishop f4 now. That's what I would play. Yeah, the development's just so good now. They can go knight g6, but white's better. Okay. All right, anyway, in the game, queen d1. That attacks the knight. I figured they would take, and they did. I take with the knight. Now they can check. But, oh no, I blundered a fork. No, we can retreat the knight and block. So no worries. Knight f6. Okay, so position looks, I feel like, slightly better for white. I'll see what the computer says. Yeah, it agrees. Yay. Okay, and then I just simply castled here. Rook d8. Yeah, and now black's trying to win the pawn. Now I could think about sacking the pawn. With this move, I could think about just developing to sack it, or I could protect it. I decided to play queen b3 because it protects it. It makes it harder to play e6 or e5, given that I can now take and it's protected. And I figured I'm threatening that. So, you know, if they want to take, they have to worry about my queen coming in. So, and then I can play rook d1. So that's what I did. And they went g6, and now black's trying to finish their development. I feel like if they get this and this, they might be fine. So I didn't want to see that happen. So I played this annoying move, knight b5. Because now I can check on c7. So they stopped it. And now, though, I mean, this looks very risky to me. Like, I just want to play, like, rook AC1. So I played bishop f4, gaining more control of this square and also getting ready for that. Bishop g7. And yeah, let's throw the check in. If I just play rook ac1, they will castle, right? Like, I don't think I should let them castle without a fight, so that is why I played here. Now they're never going to castle, which means this rook's going to be out of the game for a while still. And then I played rook ac1. They attacked my bishop, but I simply retreated, and that attacks the queen. Yeah, and that queen's kind of short on squares. So, yeah, actually, they're just trapped, right? I think they're just plain trapped. I didn't see that in advance, so I kind of got lucky there. I mean, let's just make sure. Can't go there. Yeah, it's all covered. Yeah, there's nothing. That's kind of funny that the queen just gets trapped out of nowhere. So, okay, now I'll just run the computer analysis and see if there are any moves it didn't like. And we'll also just look. I can expand the board now for you guys. Let's do this. Yeah, it was a smooth game. Pretty happy with that. So it says I made 2 mistakes, but my opponent made 2 blunders and 2 inaccuracies. So if we just click through very quickly, knight f6 was an inaccuracy. b6 is a blunder. Yeah, I thought b6. I mean, it's hard to call it a blunder. I would call it a clear mistake. Okay, it doesn't like rook d1. So what should I have done? Rook d1 protects the pawn. I mean, okay, it wants queen c4 with the idea of checking here perhaps and also stopping the rook from coming to the c file. Maybe anything else it's doing? Because they can take the pawn there, but I guess if they do that, we do get that check. Well, now it wants rook d1. And then let's say they just play e6. Yeah, we throw in this check. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing as mainline theory. Like, you throw in that little check to disrupt the black, development scheme. Now the king is like super awkward blocking the bishop, They're going to have to try to get this in, or possibly f6, king f7. So, okay, interesting idea. I did not even think about queen c4 at all. I just thought I'll protect the pawn. Okay, but white's better here. It thinks g6 is a blunder too. It must be too slow. They should have played e6, yeah. But I thought, on e6, I was probably going to go ahead and take. Actually, that's a mistake. Computer doesn't like it because here I was thinking about maybe taking with a knight, which is what the computer recommends, because I want to play this. So, but then they can check me here. This is a little awkward. Oh, and then they take. Okay, interesting. Okay, this is a game still, but that's one way it could have gone. So I guess here I should have gone bishop e3. And just realized that doesn't really work. Yeah, so all my other moves are good. So I guess that's it. I thought that was a pretty interesting game. You know, this line is like, it can get really crazy, and I've lost games horribly before. So I'm glad that I figured it out better than usual. Yeah, and that's it. So have a great day. I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.